stick it like that. Okay.
That's what I was just taking, just FYI. One of the best things you'll ever do if you ever start taking those.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back
guys.
to another podcast. I presume we're live. I can see us on the preview, so that's probably a good thing. So yeah, another week. We weren't around last week. That was my bad, but we're back again for this week's one.
We weren't last week, the week before. We haven't done this in a while, have we, Andy?
Is it 2 weeks we've not been?
Yeah, we've not done it for 2 weeks.
Okay. So this wasn't going to be
so fast, isn't it?
This wasn't going to be the third. And Christmas is creeping up now, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to my break, though, aren't you?
Yeah. Evening Gadget Dads on
Hello.
there as well. So that's good. I see your comments on most of the new videos. So yeah, appreciate the support there.
Let's have a look. What's he been commenting?
Normally, just a thumbs up or just
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
one of those guys.
Says hello, King Kirby.
You don't need to feed his ego any. You don't need to feed his ego anymore.
I haven't got an ego. But so evening Lee as well. Lee Chung. Where else?
How many do you reckon we're going to get asked where old Lewis is tonight?
Oh, his live stream the other week was pretty good. I watched most of it. He was on for like nearly 3 hours, I think.
I know. How did that guy not go to the toilet?
There is that. Yeah, so welcome everyone. We've got about 17 on at the minute.
We're up to 23 now.
Oh yeah, it's leapt up. 23.
Yeah.
Hope everyone's been enjoying the cold, freezing weather.
Oh. Did you actually get that video I sent? I don't know if you acknowledged it or not. Did you see the video of me walking to the shops?
Yeah,
how
slipping all over.
Pissed off I was. I absolutely hate snow.
It's I mean I love it. I think it's amazing. If you haven't got to go anywhere, it's great. Especially over the park. It's looked like a Scandinavian country like every single day, and I've just been over there every single day, doing different things. So I've got so much footage and so many different videos coming. The first one was the one tonight. That was obviously the e-bike one. Out on the fat bike. The fat bike's handle it so well.
I need to get my bike out actually at some point.
You should do, yeah.
You reckon my bike would be you reckon it'd be any good in it, or do you reckon it will struggle?
I reckon you'd be alright. The only thing with having for me, the only thing with having a mountain bike when you're quite high up, you come off and that's it, innit? You're like, it's
I remember back in the day, me and my mate went out on BMXs. We had literally like skateboard tires as well. Yeah, it was literally a car crash. Oh, yeah, it was fun. That was in the back of the days when I was made of rubber and made out of
you
don't really care.
You get more brittle as you get older. For sure.
100%.
Hi Kirby. It's funny how some people think my name is my first name. And that's my second name.
From now on, I'm calling you as Kirby now.
I don't repair batteries now.
Have you have anyone that you recommend for that?
No, you'd be lucky to find somebody. It's more going to be someone that does it as a bit of fun, because it's a minefield doing that. Diagnosing it. I mean, be able to figure out what's actually wrong. Someone might help somewhere along the line. But yeah, it's not something I do. I'm just too busy for all of that. Yeah, so the fat bike over the park, it's just been absolutely brilliant. I've got quite good at working out when it's going to slide and then just correcting it, because they're quite low down on those bikes, those Super 73 style frames, that if you feel something happening, you can just stick your foot out. That's what I like about having smaller, lower bikes.
I don't know what the weather's going to be like on Saturday, but I'm free Saturday morning if you're around. We should try a fat bike versus mountain bike.
Yeah, that would be cool. I think I think we were out on Saturday.
So you find out about that and let me know, because that would be quite a fun video to make.
Yeah, or over this snow is still around.
Yes, and it's not. I don't think it's going anywhere soon. My car is Have you had the TT or the Twizy out in it yet?
I haven't taken any of those. No. Funnily enough, the TT's been just parked up
in the garage. Have you put the cover on it yet, or have you?
Nah, I haven't.
I'm feeling really sorry for my paint right now because I've got
it's not good, is
I've
it?
got no wax on it either at the moment.
And all sorts. What's this, Steve? Steve Metcalf, loved your fat bite vid, but you didn't say that way of charging was a bit dodgy and not to leave it unattended, then immediately go out for a bite. Yeah, but I took the battery. That was the battery I used. Was the battery that I was charging.
I did say exactly the same. I did exactly say the same thing.
Oh, did you? Well, maybe it wasn't clear in the video because it didn't actually flow on.
Yeah,
like it just looked like I was charging that battery, and then next thing I was out on the bike. But that was no. In the first paragraph of me talking, I was saying, I've charged the battery, and here it is, and I'm using it. No,
you didn't fancy like licking the cables that you stuck in the battery, a bit of lube before it goes in.
Jesus, death wish. I mean, a 9-volt battery gives you a tingle. 48 volts is probably going to burn the end of your hand off.
I wouldn't want to even touch 48 volts. Like car stuff, 12 volts is good.
You can touch 48. You might get a tingle if you got. I
think where would you say the limit? It's about 100 volts, isn't it? The limit of.
Yeah, you get to above about 60, 70, you're probably guaranteed to feel it. DC as well, remember? So it's nasty.
Yeah.
A fully charged 20 cell battery at 84 volts, you'll feel it if you touch it.
I remember when I was young and stupid, I was really pestering an electrician that was here once. When he was messing about with 240, like live, he was like, "Yeah, I hardly feel it anymore."
Yeah, no, I don't believe that. It does. I mean, it goes all the way to your arm, doesn't it?
Oh,
it can mess your heart up if you get that in the wrong place.
You are talking to someone that uses these sort of screwdrivers as well. 1,000 volts.
Yeah. Proper insulated jobs.
Yeah, but I'd never touch anything live anyway. Well, these probably are worth more. Loads. These are probably worth money.
Super.
These are Maplin ones.
Yeah. Oh, good old Maplins.
Oh, them days, eh?
Yeah. No. I'm super cautious when it comes to anything.
Yeah.
Anything 100%. Electrical. Like I'll make sure, double check, triple check things are off.
All right. Shall we go to our subjects?
And just reading some questions. Yeah, let's do it. Start.
Yeah, so we were just talking about this as well. So I'm not sure if you've seen the link or not, but Amazon have started using little vans, but they're like e-bikes. Have you got the link there to put in chat? Because it's not copy and pasting from my Word actually.
No, I can't. I've got it on my phone, but not on.
On the screen. So these little vans are 4 wheels. And they're pretty short. They're electric little vans. They're like I would say they're slightly. They must be the same sort of size as the Twizy.
Yeah, they are. I saw one in London last week, and I was like, "What is this?"
Yeah, they're like all branded up as well.
Yeah, and the front looks like a front of an iPhone. It's like black with a big screen.
Very, very small.
Yeah. Yeah, so those have got to be. I mean, they'd have to be 250 watts because they've got no registration, have they? So they've got
they've got no registration, but they have got 4 wheels, which really
they've got 4 wheels. You're allowed to have a pedal car. You've always been allowed to have a pedal car.
Right, I've just spammed the link in chat because I've got nothing to do with the stream. Like my account is just a normal.
Can we put a picture up in your? Can you replace you with a picture of this thing?
Let me see if we're that fancy today.
Yeah, I'm going to use my Steam Deck to do the stream next week.
I've got to close down all the porn as well. Go live. Right. So can you guys see that?
I can't see it yet, but I can click on it. Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
So this is it, isn't it?
There it is. Yeah. So can we go up a bit bigger on this picture? We can.
They're not. I mean, they're not just Amazon. I've seen others using these as well. Yeah. EAV. So it's a bike.
Yeah.
And it's got like 4 wheels and it's pedal.
This guy here is pedaling it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it doesn't seem like the right sort of. Okay, there's a better picture. It doesn't seem
That's
like
it.
It does seem a bit like what's the word? It doesn't seem like it would be nice to pedal.
No. I mean, it's got to be pedal assist.
Oh, 100%. You can't have a throttle on that.
That is, you can see how they've made one single bar across the middle of it.
Yeah.
So I can see maybe now I can see that it could be quite light, but it can't be any more than 250 watts. But again, it could be 250 watts and it could be peaking at like 1,000.
Yeah. The other thing as well is that really concerns me is you put sort of, I think an Amazon run's probably about 115 or 115 roughly different stops.
Yeah.
But you could have multiple, so it's not 115 packages. You could have like, on average, you could probably have like 160 packages.
Yeah, you could. It's kind of funny that he's got a crash helmet on and he's inside.
Yeah. That's a good point, actually. I didn't even see that.
But, I mean, if he falls over sideways or something, rail smashes him into the curb.
The other thing as well is that we can't see any electric drivetrain.
No, probably in the back or the front, maybe it's in the front.
Obviously, it's got to have axles as well.
It's probably a mid-drive, but not in the middle.
Okay.
If that makes sense. I don't know. We'd have to
the other thing that really concerns me as well is weight. Wouldn't that just do a big wheelie?
It looks kind of like it would be.
Yeah, weight distribution, because you look like you got 50% which is cab, and then you got 50% which is.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. There's more over the back. There's more over the back wheel than there is over the front.
Yeah, you've got a lot of overhang. It wouldn't be great off-roading, let's be honest.
But then you're compensating for a driver weight. It's just when he gets out and it goes bang.
I think they're not actually so round here, we're quite hilly, aren't we? So round here, this would be useless.
It's going to take a lot to haul that around, isn't it?
The only way it
rather
would
use a horse and cart.
The only reason it would work round here is, or you put like 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah.
In a transit van or something bigger like a Luton van.
Yeah.
And then you drive that full of packages to where we live, like the estate we live on.
And then that would do the rest.
And then you could have 5 lads go out on the bikes and probably knock out the whole of my area in probably 3 hours.
It would be quite good. And I mean, you are going to save a bit of time because the parking would be less of a problem.
Yeah.
You can easily jump out, why not use a Twizy cargo version? Yeah, you could, but you're not going to get as many things in the back of a Twizy. Also, I bet the range on those things is pretty crazy because I bet they've got, a massive battery in there, like a 50 amp hour battery or something.
Yeah, you could go crazy with the battery in that, couldn't you?
Yeah, you could just put whatever you want, unless that battery might be could be in the middle, which would then keep the weight balanced.
The battery, that's like, that's pushing the weight up even more, isn't it?
Yeah, it's probably under those doors. Do you reckon it's probably like
it's probably sealed under those doors. But you figure, how much do you reckon those weighs?
Well, e-bike batteries are quite heavy, aren't they? So it depends what capacity it is. Yeah. Realistically, it probably doesn't need to be any more than 50 amp hours, which is still quite a lot. But that's like three of our Kirby bike batteries side by side, which isn't a huge amount of space. Interesting, though, isn't it? It's really interesting. 100%. And it's probably got 12 volts in there as well, like a DC to DC converter, and maybe a little, heater in there. I don't know.
We should get one of these and pimp it up.
Yeah, it'd be quite funny, wouldn't it?
To put a mid-drive unit and put the 2 kilowatt units on each wheel. You think we got 8,000 watts there just in the hub drives?
Do you know what? It wouldn't. It would go under the radar because people are you'd be able to do it. As long as you weren't going. I mean, the speed limit has got to be 15.5 mile an hour, right? So.
Oh yeah, 100%. Unless you can pedal that more than 15.5 mile an hour, but I don't think that's happening, is it?
Yeah, I mean,
look at the aerodynamics. The aerodynamics as well would worry me a bit.
Yeah, and you got punches as well. Four more, 2 more chances of getting a puncher as well.
I want to get one and modify the hell out of it. I'm not.
Amazon should just go full on Amazon Air drone delivery. Yeah, they should, but then I'd probably flipping hit them and get put in prison.
I don't think they're not quite there yet with that. They want to. Don't get me wrong.
It's a tricky one, isn't it? Having loads of crap flying around without.
Yeah. I don't really want to get. I don't really want to get hit in the head by a box with a phallus-shaped object on it. Do you see that? Tell me you don't see that. Every time you see the Amazon, that smile, like here, it just looks like a giant penis. I can't be the only one to see that.
I don't know, mate.
Please,
I've never thought that.
If you see that please, if someone sees that in the chat, please can they let me know, because I feel like I'm the only one that sees it.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah. So questions. Do you reckon you don't think they're limited to 250 watts then?
They've got to be limited, because you can't have anything on the road without a registration plate.
Yeah.
That is a bike. That's classed as a bicycle. It's a pedal car.
Yeah.
Weird.
It does look. I did have a comment here as well. They do look a bit unstable. Do you think going around a corner at speed on one of those?
Yeah, you wouldn't be going at any speed in one of those, would you? I mean, maybe downhill. If you got to the top of a massive hill and went down. It's got to have regen as well. Like, they've got to have a way of stopping that, because otherwise it's just going to get through so many pads.
You've got the weight for the regen, haven't you? So a normal e-bike.
They say it does 28 miles an hour, 88 mile range. But how are they?
Yeah.
What is that going to be classified as?
Unless they're going to have it as a quadricycle.
Like quadricycle, but you've got to register those though.
There's no number plates. There's no number plates on it though.
There's no number plates. No. I mean, in this picture, there's no number plates, but that could be a marketing thing. But I've seen these in London, and they don't have number plates.
I wouldn't be surprised if they had number plates, on the basis that so Amazon, they could self-insure those, couldn't they?
Yeah,
because they're massive, and they, like Tesco, self-insure. So if you have a crash with a Tesco lorry,
you're covered.
Tesco pay for the damage. Like, they have their own insurance. Like, same with Asda, same with
okay.
Sainsbury's. So they're so big. What they've done is they've made their own insurance company.
They've created their own insurance company for all that. Yeah.
Instead of having like fleet insurance.
Yeah. How does that work, I suppose?
I'm got a funny feeling insurance is just having the bank balance. That's all it is. As long as you've got, say, X amount of money. Because that's all it comes down to, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's funded. Most insurance is obviously funded by the people that pay into it, and then obviously less people claim than they do pay in. So it kind of always works. But one question before we move on: if you got your hands on one, what mods would you do to it? One of them?
Yeah.
Stick 4 8,000 watt QS motors in each hub, in each four corner.
So you'd have a 32 kilowatt sort of cycle.
I'd quite like to get hold of the frame. That'd be quite interesting. Great.
I feel like if you had that amount of power, you could quite easily do 4-wheel drive burnouts.
That'd be quite funny, wouldn't it? I mean, you could easily just make that a lot faster than.
Just think of the launches on that. Just hold the brake and just have the motors just like
ready
smoking.
To go.
And then that'd be insane.
You could quickly turn that into something that really. Is really illegal.
Yes.
I like it. I like the idea though. It's going the right way, and I think that that Grant Shapps guy, the transport secretary, I think he's trying to create a new class for different these different vehicles. I just read something about it. The scooter problem needs to be solved. There's too many scooters. Just. Literally just like impounded or just in people's houses, waste of battery. It's really bad. These need to be this problem needs to be solved. Right, they need to create if tomorrow they could say, right, well, 50 quid for some insurance, and you can get it on the road and it's covered, and you get a little digit number plate. Small little number plate you can stick on the back of your scooter. Like, so many people would just get those scooters back out and start riding them again. It would be no problem.
I didn't actually know anything about this at all, like the Class 1, Class 2. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, so Class 3, the headline features the third and the fastest e-bike class. Is this America or is this UK?
Hang on a minute. This is .com.
Yeah.
We don't have Pedalecs. Pedalecs. This is 2021 as well. This article.
Yeah.
We don't have Pedalecs here. We're not allowed to have Pedalecs, as far as I know. Still, unless that's changed.
Can you explain?
And that's a 28 mile an hour max speed. That's what that is. This one here, Class 3.
Yeah.
But
so is this how like the B-52 in America is legal? The B-52 bomber, or is that illegal anywhere in the world?
That does way more than 28.
Yeah, that does like 50, doesn't it?
But yeah, they can do throttle only up to like, but I think that's 30 miles an hour. I think it's more than.
They
28.
do like 50 miles an hour. The bombers.
Yeah, it's like a Kirby, but it's like the one my 5000S that I make. That one, the big one, that would do 50.
Yeah.
It's basically the same sort of thing, so enduro frame with a swing arm on the back of it.
That is literally end goal. I would love a B-58 bomber.
Yeah, they're good. I mean, you can build better now, but
yeah,
it's the powertrain is the thing. It's like 5,000 watt motor, 72 volt battery, Sadverton 150. Yeah. Bang, you're going to do 50 mile an hour, and it's going to be rapid. But what is this? I'm even among. It says down the bottom. This is a reminder that even among the states that use the class system. So this is.
Are we going to do what we usually do and just copy someone else's laws? So like we normally just copy paste. I know we left the EU, and that's a different thing for a different day. But normally we just copy and paste all the laws anyway.
Yeah, we do.
Right?
Yeah.
So do you think we're going to get something very similar to this? This Class 1, Class 2, Class 3?
What is Class 1?
Class 1 is so like my high bike. So when you pedal, there's a motor that helps it make easier. For some bikes, it means if you push harder, there's more assistance.
Cuts out at 20 mile an hour. So it's basically just what we have.
Well, that's lower than that's higher than we've got, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, 15.5. Yeah. I mean, if you ride around at 15.5 mile an hour without a crash helmet on, it does actually seem pretty quick. Not quick, but it seems like you're getting somewhere. As soon as you put a lid on, it feels like you're not going any speed.
I don't know if you've been out the back. Have you been out the back of Pangsinger Park? Like down, there's like a gravel hill, and you end up. If you carry on all the way up, you end up at a place called Money Hole, I think it is, Money Pit. It's like a park in Welling. Like,
okay.
You end up there, but there's a hill. It's like steep as hell, and I was doing 42 miles an hour down there on my high bike. One of the fastest I've ever gone on a bike.
Yeah, that does feel quite scary.
And after that, I decided to get myself a helmet.
You didn't have a helmet on when you done that?
No.
Well, we've all been there.
Yeah, I decided to get my helmet when after the 42 miles an hour.
Yeah, mishap. So I don't know. I don't know if we'll. I don't know what's going to be the solution, but I hope that someday you will be able to ride at 30 mile an hour throttle assisted 100%. Bikes. I mean, that would be great. That's going to get you places. It'd be brilliant.
Even if they said something along the lines of, "Well, you need your car license," most adults I know that have got e-bikes have got their car license.
Well, yeah, you're going to eliminate all the sort of 16-year-old kids that are causing all the trouble on the scooters. That not obviously all of them do, but there's a lot. There has been a lot.
Did you ever have those days where you're sort of 16? Everyone, like all your mates, had a 50cc ped.
Oh god!
And they were like, "I can do 31 miles an hour," and they'd go off, and it's like,
yeah.
And my mates would obviously put the 172 kits in and do wheelies and stuff like that.
I was never a moped kid, but I do remember the kids on them before they got their cars and stuff. I mean, if it was all over again, I totally would have had an e-bike and probably not would have got my car license for a long time.
I think mopeds have sort of come out of fashion now, haven't they? I never see them anymore.
Oh, the funniest thing was when I lived in Housestead, the first 1500 watt, I think it's more than that, it's probably like 2000 and something, 2000 watt bike on just a normal crappy frame, like a mountain bike that I had 9 around. And I overtook a 50cc moped uphill.
Yeah.
like pedaling, and it was the most funniest thing that I was just
he, was
laughing
he,
to myself.
was
Quickly
he
after
just
that,
there,
I ended up
throttle?
on my ass because I went
Was he
round.
just
I tried to
there,
go
like
round.
throttle, just struggling up this hill, like
Yeah, it was like
me?
me, and I just went past pedaling up, like
How long ago was this? I want to know when the first sort of like you first rode an e-bike and was like, yes, I'm going to sell those.
Oh god, we need to. I just need to flip back onto here. Look.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here we go. We can lose that, can't we?
Mm.
So yeah, it was. Oh blimey, I can't think when that was. It was. It was like. It was probably like 2016, 2015, 16.
Okay, not that long ago.
Not that long ago. No, not massively long ago. But
yes. Should we move on to our other subjects? Because we're.
Next one.
I think we should go to the cold shoulder actually.
Go on then.
Yeah. So just for anyone that doesn't know, cold shoulder is something that Andy has no idea about. Not mentioned it to him. Normally we've got notes that we refer to, just basic bits and pieces, isn't it? I don't tell him nothing about this.
No.
We're talking about probably something from both our childhoods, because you've recently got a Stream Deck, so I feel like this joins up. We're talking about light guns.
Oh my god! Photon guns.
Yeah, light guns, photon guns.
It was like what they had at Quasar, but just like the consumer version, wasn't it?
Yes.
Oh,
now,
did
you ever own? How many did you own?
My dad bought me a set. I don't know how old I was, but my dad bought me a set, and there was.
I did have some notes on this. Go on.
There were two guns, photon guns they were called. Two guns, infrareds, and then there was like a target as well. And I was fascinated by it. Just imagine that, you know.
Did I'm guessing did Prepubescent and Andy work out how they work, or did you?
I took them apart and then couldn't put them back together again. There was so much. Yeah, it was so much fun. Yeah. And they used to get stray, like IR beams from like remotes and things like that. It can't have been that clever, like the Link. It must have just literally been sensing like an R. You know.
Do you know how they work?
It's just infrared, isn't it? Just an infrared.
No, it's not.
Is it not?
No. So the way the CRTs work, so you got the scan lines. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you remember when you shot the gun, there was like a black screen, and then it came back up. So what it would do is it would make where the target is. So if you got the duck, I'm thinking of the duck. I can't remember what the duck game was called. You know what I'm talking about?
I'm not sure if we're thinking about the same thing here.
I'm thinking about the light guns that you got, like the Nintendo 64.
Okay. Did it actually put a light out?
No. I'm thinking about the ones.
And you're firing it at the screen.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Got you. Yeah. No, I do remember those, but I'm talking about like these guns were standalone. No, they were spud guns. They were standalone guns. There was you literally just put batteries in either gun. Yeah. And it had LEDs on the back. Yeah. And if you fired it at one gun over a distance, and it was quite a long way actually. It seemed like that when I was.
It sounds like you're talking about Quasar.
Yeah, it's literally Quasar, but you could buy these guns like back in the day. Anyway,
no, I'm talking about the ones that plug into the old retro consoles.
Okay, cool. So how did it work? It could sense. I always wondered this. It could sense the CRT lines on the scanner.
Where the target was.
Yeah.
That would go white. So the gun would look for the white.
Right. Okay. So what was it? What sensor was it? Was it like
I think it was just like a light sensor.
Optical sensor, light sensor or something.
Yeah, I'm guessing they've probably put like a big lens on it as well, so it's quite zoomed in.
Interesting. Yeah. That is pretty cool. Yeah, no, I don't remember that. But did it not used to have a target on the actual screen?
No, I don't think it.
Didn't have crosshairs where you're
thinking of the Wii.
Yeah, maybe because that could obviously that was nothing to do with that. That was where you.
Yeah. So that would work on infrared. So the light bar on the. Do you remember the Wii? The light bar.
Yeah, the thing at the top.
All that was two infrared lights.
Yeah.
Literally, apart like that. And then the controller would just find that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can do it. I don't know if you've seen the videos. You can do it with two candles.
Can you?
Yeah, I'm serious. You can do it with two candles.
Oh God, that's pretty funny.
Yeah. So the clever bit is in the controller, not the bar.
Yeah. Yeah, the controller was the thing, wasn't it?
I remember when those. Do you remember when those came out on the strap? People weren't using the straps, so they would literally just fly off.
Throw the thing off, yeah.
Yeah, but then back in that day, the TVs were just literally like big TVs were just coming out, and they're really, really expensive.
Yeah. Big plasma screen.
People were like smashed, like the controller was just getting hit.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that was funny. So, yeah, these light guns. Did you have a set of those or?
Yeah, look up photon guns. So
Photon.
I need to get a. My screen is literally going out to the.
Yeah.
To the
common rifles by both the Auto Dot and I don't think that's it.
I don't know. I'll probably find
Photon rifle. Oh, this is Transformers. We're not talking about that, are we?
Photon guns. Laser tag toys of.
Yeah, pretty much. It's something along those lines, isn't
it?
We were talking about
laser tag, wasn't it?
I remember. I remember going around my brothers and playing N64 with the. I think it was an N64. I think it was. I think it was No Time to Die or something like that. It was that long ago. Yeah, I think it was. And we had a light gun on that, and we were playing on that on his big. He had a big square CRT.
Interesting.
It must have been about 32-inch, but it was 4x3. Like, can you imagine? Can you imagine
before it went 16:9?
Can you imagine having a square display now?
Imagine that. Well, do you know, you say that. What's weird is obviously the mixture of content is 16:9, and then you got like TikTok and all the other short stuff, short form content is all portrait, and that is a real pain. That's a real pain in the backside. But you know, the new GoPro actually shoots on a square canvas, so it shoots on like in a square that you can crop a 4K 16:9 and also crop. You know, your portrait aspect, So if you've got the new GoPro, you can do all your content in one shot. So that's quite interesting. I was looking at that the other day.
Yeah. Shall we move on to our? We are a bit short of subjects this week.
Phased plasma rifle in 40-watt range.
Yeah.
Even Tim is rating.
Are you looking on eBay? Are you going to buy a set?
No, this is Billy No Mate's comment. I prefer a phased plasma rifle in 40-watt range.
Now
I was looking at some blue lasers the other day as well.
Oh, were you? I keep meaning wicked lasers look quite good.
You need to have a play around with lasers.
You need to like message them and be like, look, I'm a YouTuber. Can you send me some?
Yeah, you can get into some serious trouble with those. But
yes,
you know they are. They can do like balloons at like 3 meter range.
Don't point them at planes. No. You will get pretty much. They'll come find you.
The trouble is, if you anywhere you are, you know, even if you were to aim it, keep it really low, you wouldn't. You're gonna hit something. So it's just not worth it. It's an indoor only job, isn't it? Indoor only.
Right. Can we go back to my screen as well? Because I feel like this subject needs a bit of So our friends, I say friends, we don't have any friends like that. Cool. At Rolls-Royce, have managed to get a jet engine running on hydrogen.
A what?
A jet engine. They've got it. They've retrofitted hydrogen to a jet engine.
Wow, that's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Can you get that up on the thing?
Yeah, I'm just Rolls-Royce hydrogen. So this was because of our delays with the podcast. This was announced on the 28th of November, so we're it has been out for a little while. So a few people have probably seen it.
What's this? So they've converted.
Yeah, so they've converted. Obviously, I think Rolls-Royce are the only people to have a jet engine lying around. That's mad. Can you imagine having that? Can you imagine having that problem? Just a jet engine lying around
that you can just tinker with.
Yeah, and obviously, like, this is the kit. Look at that. That is literally engineering porn. That is.
Yeah, that is pretty insane. So is it more powerful, less powerful, more efficient?
I don't think they say, and I'm sure they're keeping that under wraps at the moment. I think the idea is more that they've done it and not. I don't think they've got. It wouldn't surprise me if they haven't even got to that testing yet.
Yeah.
And the other thing as
hydrogen
well
over
is
batteries provides much more power per kilogram. Yeah, exactly.
The other thing as well is how much more hydrogen are you going to need in a plane? You think like the A330.
Yeah.
Like that's a plane that goes anywhere. Like the tanks on those are huge.
Yeah.
Like how much more tank size are you going to take, or how much more tanks are you going to take? But then you start making the tanks bigger.
Yeah.
You're losing. So I don't know if you know how the budget airlines work. They just want people. They don't want. They don't. They just want a mass amount of people to turn up for the flights and pay 30 quid a piece for a ticket.
Mm.
You know, to go to Edinburgh or something like that. And that's how they make their money, just mass, just quantity. But then someone like Air Emirates,
they want the big bucks.
Well, they want the big bucks. They want the you know they want
the
sort
suites
of
and the
hotel
class
rooms,
lounge.
the first class. They want the people spending. You know, they get on the plane, they get their champagne and caviar, pretty much.
Yeah, and the rest of the plane's empty.
Yeah. So they want people to have space as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's still going to take. You think if you're taking away, say you take away 10 seats for this extra, that's only a guess. And we're no engineers, are we? But I guess you take 10 seats to make a bigger petrol tank on this plane or hydrogen tank. Yeah. You're taking away £300 per flight. Now, at a guess, I suspect a plane, if you look at the EasyJet sort of status, they're doing 8 different journeys in a day. You know, they're going to Rome in the morning, then they're going to Edinburgh for lunch, and then they're going out to then back to Inverness. They're going back to Luton, back to Inverness. You know, and that £300, when you think you're doing like 40 flights a week, you know, it doesn't take you long to work out that you're going to lose a load of money from this. And we come back to what we had the same problem last time, is the storage.
Yeah, I mean, and the tank's bigger. If you're using the tested so-called green hydrogen produced at European Marine Energy Centre, Orkney Islands.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's using electric, obviously, to, you know, you have to use electricity to create hydrogen.
And then you get your, remember, we go back to our losses, so you lose about 20%.
Yeah. It's just the reliance on not having oil, isn't it? And something that you can create. Yeah, okay, you might be able to do it with green energy. You know,
eventually, but we're struggling. You know, we're struggling for power at the moment. Like, if we add this extra load onto the grid to make fuel for planes and fuel for cars,
I don't know. I mean, they say you know, some reports say this, don't they? But we can create a huge amount of. We're not using our renewable energy resources at all. Like we can create a lot more wind energy, but it's got nowhere to go, and I think that's why they're you know building battery storage, aren't they? There's a big battery.
Still think we're missing a trick by not having more energy storage in water. So you have your high and low lake, and then you just run that through a turbine. You know, pump it up when it's. We use that already. If everyone's familiar with the old Coronation, is it Coronation? Yeah, Coronation Street pickup. So when everyone puts the kettles on, there's a massive surge around sort of 7:30. I don't even know when. I don't watch Coronation Street, but I know it doesn't happen.
When all
as
the
much
soaps
now.
and that crap's on.
Yeah. And everyone puts their kettle on, massive surge. So they have to pump the water. They pump the water up in the day when it's cheap, and then use it. And I think. Sorry about that, lads.
You actually knocked your mic out.
That Orkney Islands. I think Tom Scott done a video on that recently. So the island have got too much power. And they actually make hydrogen
with that
too much power.
Yeah, I mean it's clever ways of doing stuff with excess energy, but I mean, or just store it and using it for I
do have one more subject but I don't think it's really relevant anymore because of we seem to get through, I think, the worst of the winter. So this is about the power cuts in England. I don't know if it's more of a press sort of thing that the I don't know if
I don't know.
BBC.
Does this happen as well? Does this happen is this only happening with people that have got smart meters? I don't know because I can't see how can they turn off unless they turn off like presumably like your local substation has like its own sort of remote control, so potentially they could turn off a local substation.
It does come back to what I was just talking about actually, the Power Mountain that where they got the high and low lake. That in that building is also where they control the grid. So if they need, so every power station's connected to that. So I'm guessing if they have to put like a nuclear shrimp on the Barbie because they've not got enough power, obviously they'll just crank up or turn on one of the coal power plants. I think nuclear is probably one of the second fastest to come up. So they just have to pull a control rod out, and that would crank it up a bit. I don't know if they're already at their limits though, because they're quite old. I personally think it's probably quite a controversial thing, but I think nuclear is the way to go.
It's bang for buck, isn't it? Like what it creates is.
Oh, don't get me wrong, it's fucking expensive.
Yeah, I mean, but the amount of energy that it can create, the power, energy density or whatever, it's classed as, is above everything else, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Billy No Mates has got it. Electric Mountain is what we're talking about.
Electric Mountain.
Yeah, that's also. I do want to go for a tour on this place, and right next door as well. Or it's very close.
Where is this? Where is it?
It's over in Wales.
In Wales.
Yeah, and there's a cave right next door, nearly near to it. They've literally just put trampolines in it. Literally just straight from the cave wall.
That's pretty cool.
And it looks like Rokeburn Central, but it does look good. But yeah, so next door, it's where they monitor all the frequency as well.
We should have had a Christmas do there. What Christmas do?
They monitor the frequency. I didn't know they did this as well. But if say the grid's been running at 50.02 for like an hour, what they'll do is for the next hour they'll do it at like 49.98.
Once try and claim back a little bit of.
Oh no, so you balanced out your difference. So if you've got like a sensitive clock that relies on because most of the clocks you plugged in. I don't know if you remember the old T-Mates.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would use the 50 cycle hertz
to hertz,
keep the clock.
Yeah, there's obviously some electronics that will. Oh no, let's take a question here. I picked up a ID52. This is swinging completely different subject, but ID52 Icon after watching the video. It's been a great radio. How's it been as a base station for you when using the VHF UHF amplifier? To be honest, it is an amazing base station radio for 2 meters and 77s because it's got a really nice audio. You'll always get good reports. I've actually put it alongside my 705, my Icon 705, and switched between the two in like a group conversation or something. And most of the people in the net said the ID52 sounded better than the 705, which is interesting. And it works brilliantly on the amplifier, but you don't really need the amplifier. 5 watts is enough if you've got a decent antenna outside. X510 up 11 meters. Good takeoff.
I'm all done with my predetermined subjects as well.
Yeah, but Charles has got his. You've got your foundation book, haven't you? It's just turned up.
Got some light reading for Christmas.
Yeah, nice. Look, they've got the ID52 on the front as well.
Oh, they?
Yeah, they've changed the. So you got what is it, FT3 or something?
Have you heard of Alan Betts G0HIQ?
Only from those books.
Oh, okay.
Is George Smart still doing?
I don't think so. It's just his name on there.
Okay.
But I've not seen a book for ages. I've not seen a book for ages with ads in.
Oh, what actual? Yeah, I know. It's proper old school, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's literally got. Well, this is no association to us, but Technofix.
Technofix. Yeah.
It reminds me of like I found I don't know where I was, but I found an old Playboy magazine a little while back. I think I think it might have been in some like posh pub or somewhere.
Pretty worse.
It was on the table. I just started reading it. It was like cigarettes.
Like Anna Nicole Smith in it or something.
Yeah, it was like cigarettes and like I only looked at it for the material. I didn't look at it for that.
Funny. And then the adverts in there. Yeah, that was interesting.
Cigarettes, deep fried food because it's probably American.
Do you know what? Back in the day, well, you won't remember this. Like, that was how you bought a lot of electronics from like magazines, and it'd have like all the stuff laid out.
You forget I'm
old. Electronics.
You forget I'm old. I've done my Christmas shopping in Argos, the Argos catalogue.
The Argos catalogue.
I'll have that. So give it to your mum.
Circled.
Yeah.
Yeah, funny. Yeah, all of them out of catalogue. Hi, Andy, have you tried any of the USB SDR receivers? Sorry, I think I saw this question earlier. So yeah, thanks for persevering. Such as the RTO SDR, you can use with a smartphone. Yeah, basically, I did this quite a long time ago when the RTO Realtek SDR. It's not Realtek, is it? RTO SDR came out. Yeah, so basically, yeah, they're brilliant. They work really well, and there's so much software for those now. It's such a kind of almost like a mature area of SDR stuff, and the RTO SDR website is really, really good. There's always something on there.
Do you want to talk about your new toy and what you plan to do with it?
What's that? The Steam Deck?
Yeah, you put an OS on it.
Yeah, well, you know what? I was thinking, I'll do this and I'll do that and all these sorts of things. So Neil Jones, NJ Tech, has got a YouTube channel. We talk all the time, and he's always really guilty of me getting. It's always his fault. He always makes me spend money. So have you seen this new thing? And I've tried to keep my eye on all tech across the whole board, but it just doesn't happen. I can't physically consume all of the stuff. But anyway, basically I've got I grabbed the Steam Deck, and it took like literally like a week and a half to come, so it's really quick, and great bit of kit. But it's like it runs on Linux, so basically it will allow you to play pretty much any PC game on it without Windows, and sometimes it actually runs the games better than Windows, which is kind of bizarre because it's a very lightweight operating system they use, and it's got desktop mode as well, and it is absolutely amazing. Like it is the most rounded Linux thing that I've actually seen, and it's completely open as well, so you can just it's like having a really powerful Raspberry Pi, basically.
We need to talk about Linux, actually. I think that's
yeah. We need to, yeah. There's a lot of stuff, because I don't know if some of you might know, my other business is in the Linux sort of space, so Linux and Android. So, Linux Mini PC. So this is a really exciting bit of hardware, and especially on the lowest model is like 350 quid, which is
one thing we need to look at
for that performance.
We need to look at, see if we can find a supplier and sort of start selling it, because it's quite a big thing.
What's that?
I don't know if you've seen the little like Game Boys that you can get that run on Linux. Have you seen these?
Oh, okay. What is it, like a sort of replica thing of it?
Yeah, so it's like a replica Game Boy, but it's got like 2,000 games on, like PS1, PS2. I think we need to get on that sort of.
Is there a Raspberry Pi? Do you know what I saw the other day? You know Roland, who make the. I just dropped a CR2A3 thingy.
Oh, I need one of those. Actually, my AirTag has died.
Has it? Has it? They last for ages, don't they? What was I going to say? Yeah, so I've completely forgotten what I was going to say.
Something about Roland.
Oh yeah, Roland. So the Roland keyboard maker, like basically that thing there, the keyboard there. Their synths are amazing, and everything else. They now use the Raspberry Pi compute board in their latest one. So they basically just stuck a Raspberry Pi in there.
Off the shelf.
Is that how do we agree with that?
I quite like that idea. If it breaks.
I mean, it's the platform is irrelevant. It's the code and the stuff that they've got. Their sound engine is obviously the thing that is important, but it still feels a bit like I don't know.
Did you feel? Did you know back in the day, most keyboards shared the same chip as most
Yes. Do you know what's funny, right?
Most
Back
sound
in the
cards.
day, keyboards used to seem like a magical thing. Like, oh wow, it's like a clever thing. But now when you look back, knowing what you know now, that basically chips, it's always been the same. A chip runs a certain set of instructions, and computers share the same chips, and synths did, and it's just what code they put on them. So really, it hasn't changed at all. It's just the fact that we know that there's a thing called a Raspberry Pi.
I remember when I first heard about single application computers, so like Bitcoin miners.
Yeah.
That just blew my mind. It's like
Basic.
you've made a computer just to do one
job.
thing. Like
Yeah.
most of the computers we've got here, I game on this, I edit photos. They're general purpose now.
Yeah. And they suffer because of it, because you've got so much crap going on in the background that you don't need. That's why Linux is so fast. Like, I'm controlling this stream from a Raspberry Pi 3, but it boots up in like 10 seconds. It's just, absolutely. So, there's no like extra bits going on. It just does what it does. Even, like obviously the new Macs and stuff are all like ARM chips, and they're staggeringly powerful for what they are, but they're still running a very heavy system, and
I would say Mac OS is lighter than Windows.
I don't know if it is now. It doesn't feel it. Yeah. When you go from the Mac to like even that Steam OS, it's so refreshing. It's just
right. I'm gonna air my issues with Mac.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've aired this before or not. So I had a Mac Mini 2012 when they came out.
Yeah, terrible. Terrible bit.
I had a nice. I thought they were quite. And I had a Mac. I had a MacBook Pro.
Did it have an SSD or not?
I put an SSD in it.
Yeah, you have to put an SSD.
I had a MacBook Pro 2009, and it was the Intel Duo.
Yeah, Duo.
So it was a dual core, but then hyperthreading gave you 2 cores.
Yeah.
I didn't think they were too bad machines at the time. I'm talking like 2014. I had these.
Yeah, I had one silver one.
Yeah. Now, it was a black keyboard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I absolutely loved them at the time, but then I would have days where I want to do this, this one certain thing, and I'd look online for some freeware to do it, because we both love freeware, don't we? Me and you.
Oh yeah.
I love VLC player, open source. I love that. To do that one thing, like the only thing they would have is Windows.
Yeah, there are. Yeah,
that would really put me off Mac. It's like you want this one specialist program to do one thing.
That's right, and it's on Windows.
And then you find a program that's Mac compatible. Oh, that's 30 quid.
Yeah.
And you only want it to do this. You want to do this one thing that you can't find any software to do it. You want to do it in a certain way. You want and that's really what.
Into Parallels. That was like what that was for, wasn't it? Parallels desktop, so you could run. I mean, basically, an Intel Duo runs Windows or it runs Mac OS is x86. So it, the instructions are the same, the architecture is the same. It's just got to translate the layer somehow. So
don't get me started on Boot Camp as well. My God, that was awful.
That was a pain. Parallels was great because you can do both. You can have a windowed like app, can't you? You can have a windowed app on the actual screen. It's clever. It's clever how they do that, but it's also what I used to do is I used to have like 3 when I was doing a lot of Linux debugging and kernel compilation. I used to have I used to do it all in Parallels. I didn't used to have a separate boot disk for Linux. I'd just have it all on the same machine, and then I'd cross compile ARM. So you're compiling an ARM kernel on an x86 platform, and it's very fast. I did it with an i7, so it was quite quick at the time.
That does sound like some next level shit right there.
Yeah, it's fast. But now you can do an ARM. You get a Raspberry Pi 4, you could compile like an ARM kernel, like proper quick.
Like you're talking native as well.
Yeah, it's native, and it's
you could
64-bit.
you could sit and run the code there and then as well, couldn't you?
Yeah,
You wouldn't need
so there's
to
no
emulate
like.
it either.
That's
Yeah.
right. There's no like cross compiling.
Mm.
Cross compiling is just a minefield because
Yeah.
something might not work, and yeah.
Was that why Java became a thing? Because
Probably.
it stopped cross compiling.
Yeah,
Because Java's quite
universal.
sort of yeah.
But what I do like about the M series Macs and stuff, you can run all the iPhone and the iOS apps on the Mac.
In the day, you had to boot up something like BlueStacks, didn't you? That was Android.
Yeah, and then that's just it's probably not going to work, is it? But I think like the other day I just grabbed like an iPad app to download Packet from Packet Radio, and it just worked. It just worked on the Mac Mini. So they are good. I said to Lewis, because he's having trouble with his Mac at the moment or something. It's pretty slow. It's just got a Fusion drive in it. It's got like an actual mechanical hard drive.
Oh my god, I remember those. Yeah. It was like the SSD. I remember that was years old though. The Fusion drive.
That's the thing about some Mac hardware. They always have like on the bottom level. It's really out of date, isn't it?
Yeah, just buy me Just buy them.
It just needs a little SSD.
Time to go buy a Mac Pro and call it a day.
Yeah, it would be good. What's this? I tried so hard to move Arch Linux from Windows. That was just too many programs. Simple in Windows, huge pain in workaround in Linux. It is a massive learning curve. Linux.
We should. Did you see? Sorry, button in there. Did you see the Linus Tech Tips done a Linux challenge?
Oh, did he? What was
30 it? 30 days. 30 days. They had to be Linux completely.
Really?
Like him and his second-hand guy, Luke, who's also
yeah. That's a good. That's a good challenge. Yeah, that's a good challenge.
I feel like me and you should do that. So you can't use Mac OS, and I can't use Windows.
And you can't use Windows, so you'd have to do it. See, I'm probably a little bit.
What would be your? I feel like you'd go for Debian. What would be your flavour? No, you wouldn't go Debian. You'd probably.
It would be Ubuntu. If you're going to switch to a daily driver, it's going to be Ubuntu because, like, anything works on that, and because of the way I can't remember his name now. Because of the way they've really tried to push Ubuntu as like being, a Windows replacement or there's so many apps available for it. Like you can even get Telegram for it. And
you know what their biggest problem was?
What's that?
NVIDIA wouldn't release. So there's no official NVIDIA drivers for Linux. So I would have that problem in my 1080.
Yeah, okay. So it doesn't. Yeah, do you know this is it's always a problem with Linux GPUs, and it's even worse if you're in the ARM sort of space as well, because the source code might not have been even available for like some of that stuff.
It's all closed down. So if someone makes a graphics card that can be used on ARM in Linux, like they make the code for it as well.
Yeah.
Like there's no such thing. There's no such thing as an open source graphics card.
No, there's always going to be like a binary blob or something.
Where we've got open source, so ARM is all open source, isn't it?
Yeah, mostly.
The M1 will be locked down to hell.
Yeah,
it's Apple. But
it's going to be.
We know the starting block.
Yeah, and I don't know yet because I haven't really looked into this, but I don't know whether you can run because ARM Linux has been around since like day dot, like it's been around for a long time. So you should, in theory, be able to if you can get round the Mac. But it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. It gets harder with embedded stuff.
I keep looking at the Trashcan Macs, the old 2013 ones.
Yeah, they've got some pretty decent hardware inside, don't they?
You say that. You can do a lot more with a little less now. Like because they're pushing 10 years.
Probably more powerful.
Yeah, they're pushing 10 years old now. They've got Xeons in, but you can do a lot more with a lot less power. Like the i9 is actually more efficient.
Yeah, that's where things are getting. It's going, isn't it? It's just more efficient, more power per watt, and
I would like to replace. I know Billy No Mate's just mentioned it. I want to replace a server at some point because that's pushing nearly 11 years old now. That server in my loft.
It would be kind of a challenge to do it as a Linux server.
Yeah, so I know that for a fact. What would be the end game is to run Linux, or actually no, I'd probably want to run Proxmox.
Okay.
Which have you heard of that?
No.
No, so Proxmox is an open version of ESXi.
Okay.
So you can run VMs, so you can run Windows VMs in it.
Wow.
And it's completely open source.
That's pretty smart.
So that would be, and I would like to go water cooling on the basis that every time it gets to it runs fine, but on the 40-degree day, it was a few months back. That feels so long ago, doesn't it? It was screaming.
Was it?
Yeah, so water cooling would be like, I would put a big rad on it as well, like real overkill, just to stop the noise. I would probably even look at getting a sort of cheap car radiator.
Yeah.
And running a big chonker fan on it.
Yeah.
Shall we say some questions?
To anyone? Say some questions, yeah.
Yeah. Have we got any archive questions?
Do you know? Yeah, Packet Radio on the Go. Your next video, Andy, with the Steam Deck. Yeah, that'd be cool. I've got I want to play around with the Hack RF on it as well, actually, because I think that could do some.
On the subject of your Hack RF, did you get the flipper ordered yet?
No, is it available? What's the deal?
I don't know. You need to look into that.
Yeah, I know. There's too many things.
Well, this time of year, you can just put a label on anything from Santa to Andy. You know that, and then you get away with it.
Does it work with the taxman as well?
I'm sure a business gift.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's a write-off somewhere.
Probably. Akai 5000, the manual's like a phone book and massive 256. Yeah, I used to have a 3000 XL Akai and a 1000. These are like samplers, Charles, like the Akai samplers.
The bearded Borum? Is that his name?
Yeah.
I absolutely love Focusite, by the way. I actually had, I don't know if you remember, do you remember the Sapphire 6? That was like their first.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had one of those when I was DJing, and I don't know what happened to it. Because I kept it. I don't know what I've done with it.
Probably wouldn't get it running now, would you?
Yeah, it was USB 2.0. But I've just got this. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it out because of the cable length. But I've got this one. Oh, I've got this one now, little 2x2. Nice. Got an XLR. Yeah.
That's all you need though these days, isn't it? All you need.
100%. I could run quite easily. I could run a guitar and a, but I don't have a guitar anyway.
I've got a little blimey. I've got a little pre-Sonus here.
Yeah. Ooh, that's quite nice.
They're quite nice. That's quite a nice little one.
The one you had in your studio. Oh yeah, man, that was sexy.
Yeah, I've still got that, obviously.
Yeah.
Which.
Are you gonna purge all this? Are you gonna purge all this stuff at some point, or are you gonna?
I've just dropped a massive, great fishing magnet onto Christmas presents, which wasn't.
What haven't you got, Andy? Like, this is what I'm wondering.
I've got quite a lot of stuff, haven't I? You should see it in here. It's not funny.
You need a good purge. I keep telling you to do this.
Yeah.
As the other half said the same thing.
She loves this room. She really likes it. She's like, I love it.
I bet she never steps foot in there anymore.
She does, because it's got the best view in the house. But also, I took a radio. I was out over the park, and I took my Motorola R7 over there, and I said to her, "If you need me for anything, just shout me on that on the business." On the business channel, on one of the business channels, because it's just so much easier having that in my pocket. I can hear a voice, and I haven't got to get the phone out. I haven't got to take my gloves off to answer the phone and all that shit. So
did you pretty much go off grid?
Yeah, I just went off grid. So
Is that why you weren't texting me back earlier?
yeah, probably. So I went out and I think I might have just called her briefly. I just said hi. Yeah. And she come in here and she was like, she didn't tell me. It took her about 3 minutes to respond, and I was like, and she said she walked into the room and she was like, Andy, how am I supposed to know which radio to answer? Because there's 11 in here. I was like, well, it would be the one that's on. She's like, no, they're all on. They're all flashing, doing something. That's quite funny. I did think that was funny.
It probably looks like. Do you ever get like? I don't know if you. I don't think you do, but I don't think you gamble very much, because gambling's stupid. But do you ever get like when someone's playing a fruit machine in your eyesight? Do you ever get really distracted by it? Because of so many flashing lights and so many different things going on.
Not really. I'm used to flashing lights.
Blue ones in the rearview mirror.
Blue ones. Yeah. What else we got? Great fun. The Yamaha over next year. I like the over next. Was good.
That Billy No Mates. He's just talked about something about fusion power. They've actually there was a breakthrough the other day. I can't actually remember it. Do you know about fusion?
No. What was it?
No. So fusion.
Particle acceleration.
No, you're trying to recreate the sun, pretty much. You're splitting helium into hydrogen. I'm pretty sure it's that way round. That would make sense because hydrogen is the lightest thing, and then helium's the second highest. But you're not using. This is. I can't remember what it was called. So you got fission power, which is a sort of power station as we know, nuclear power station. Then you got fusion. So with fission, you're breaking apart atoms. With fission, you're bonding atoms. I'm pretty sure is the other way around.
I know nothing about it.
Like I say, not a nuclear engineer. They've managed to get more power out than they've put in.
That's going to be helpful.
Yeah. So the other thing as well is that inside one of these reactors, it's like a donut, and they have to get. I'm not an expert in this. This is my grasp on it. They have to get. What they do is they hold fusion. They hold fusion in in magnetic fields. They have to hold it in a magnetic field because it's 14 billion degrees.
What? How can that exist?
Exactly. That's my question.
Just like everything, burning up.
Yeah, I will sort that out, and I'll research the shit out of it as well.
Yeah, research that. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, I'll make it for layman terms as well, because it is. I do struggle with that. It won't Billy No Mates.
So you just can't fathom. Yeah. It's funny, isn't it? I mean, there's just not really any way of. What can you do?
I still think we've got through the worst of the winter so far.
Yeah, I can't. Don't get worse than -8, does it?
Yeah, this is one of the coldest. I'm not sure. As you're more senior,
I've not known it any colder than.
Yeah, I've not known it this colder as well. But I remember driving to work the other day where there was pure ice on my screen, like real solid.
Instant freeze, isn't it? Yeah, my screen was just frozen.
It was just solid ice. It wasn't just frost.
It's horrendous for batteries. I mean, I haven't tried the Twizzler yet, and I was gonna possibly try that maybe tomorrow.
Do you even though you're not going out in the car, do you still go out and clear it off?
No, I haven't. I've just
I go out every day and clear mine.
But it's probably better just to leave it, less scratches.
No, I don't really. I use spray. I use the Autoglym spray, which is one of the best in the business. Best I've used.
Oh, okay. I've not seen that. I'm gonna have to clear it for this weekend, but I'm just out on the bike, which is kind of like completely the thing that you would think that you wouldn't want to be doing, but it's just good. It's just cut through the glide over the ice. No problem at all.
Should we start to wrap this up?
Yeah, let's wrap this one up. I'm gonna go and make myself a cup of tea. Settle down.
Caffeine at this time.
Cup of tea. It's got Yorkshire tea. Finest.
Decaf. I'm on decaf at this time of night.
I tell you, nah. It doesn't really affect me anymore. I just
You say
still go to
say
sleep.
that,
I'm so tired.
say that I can't do caffeine after 4 p.m. If I do, I'm up all night.
When I tried to stop having caffeine last year, I did about a month of just like detox and just not having it. I had the most horrendous headache for like 3 days.
Yeah, that's a thing.
That's the thing.
That is a thing. I know that's a thing because I did it last year in December, and I had a headache while I was driving a van to
that's
Scotland.
not fun. Yeah, not good.
No.
Right, guys. Should we wrap this up then?
Yep.
And what's next week? Next week it's not Christmas, is it?
I think that's not Christmas. Quite. 10 days.
Yeah, 10 days. So we might be right for next week's one. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll do a little Christmas special. Yeah. We can talk about the science of tinsel, science of trees. Let's do that.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.
If you want to get me on social media, I'm Fighters by Charles _ on Instagram. Get the plug in there.
Check the latest video. If you want to join the Discord as well, check the latest video in the description. There's the Discord link as well.
I'm Sir Charles in there. Come say hi to me.
All right. Catch you later. You guys in a bit. It's always that weird delay.